From what you already know, you'd probably think that I started robbing people as a selfish act. I won't lie, it had its appeals. Growing up with a single parent working 2 jobs just to stay afloat meant I never had much in the way of time with my mum, or with things I could call my own. It was hard seeing others have luxuries and how happy they were, but not being able to do anything to better our situation. I was too young to work back then. After my initial failed attempt robbing that one house my first time, you'd think I'd have learned then what with my lucky escape from that premises. You'd never know how fast someone could move. It had barely been half a minute as I was hitching myself over their fence, turning to see the owner of the place brandishing something I never had time to make out, standing in that broken window. I was lucky he never saw my face. But I didn't give up. After a few weeks I went back there, and this time, by some miracle, I succeeded. I must have got a couple of hundred from flogging that lot online. I brought myself the skateboard I'd been eyeing up downtown for weeks and used the rest to put food on the table for us. When my mum asked how I'd done it, I covered it up and told her I'd started an online business. I mean, it technically wasn't a lie, right? She never had time to think about it much, nor did she really understand how all that stuff worked anyway, or question how I'd got the inventory to sell it in the first place. I kept most of it hidden under my bed, behind some boxes, until I'd flogged it off, and I kept it going, sporadically. Picking a target, watching them, calculating, and robbing them for all the stuff I could carry. One night, it all changed though. She caught me coming back in through my window. After realizing I'd gone, she'd phoned the police and reported me missing. When I come back inside carrying my night's loot, and she realized what this all was, well, the shock and disappointment on her face was something I'll never forget. I told her I'd been doing it for her and for us, so she could finally drop out of working and live a bit. She never did get it. I was lucky she called the police off and didn't turn me in. After swearing to never do it again and subsequently leaving the possessions at the front door of that house anonymously, well, things went back to normal for a time. But I couldn't help it now. I didn't stop. I had to help her. And then it happened. After catching me at it for what must have been the 100th time, I remember how she looked at the floor and shook her head slowly. I stood there silently, waiting, watching her as she took a deep breath and just a long sigh. We'd been here before many times, and each time the disappointment and hurt took a little more away from her. I tried to tell her again how it was fine, how I wanted to help her, provide for her. Mathew, she whispered, her voice resigned. She slowly raised her eyes to meet mine and said, "Why do you do these things? Why do you want to hurt me like this?" I didn't want to hurt her. She just didn't understand. Then she said, "I had no other choice. This is for your own good." I headed to the window, slid it open and looked back. Mum!